Do you ever stop and question the reality around you? The news that you trust, the media that you consume, or even the beliefs that you hold? Well, what if they weren't entirely real? Today, we're diving into how media and social platforms shape your reality and why it's time to break free and the steps you can take to reclaim your mind. I'm Stevie Floyd, and this is Breaking Reality. For decades, media was trusted. I am a 70s child. I grew up with three major networks: CBS, ABC, and NBC. TV networks, magazines like Time Magazine, and newspapers were the voices of truth. But today, we don't live in that world. We live in a world full of agendas and exaggerated narratives and outright manipulation. And with censorship now creeping into our social media feeds, or has been for the last few years, the question arises, how much of our perception is actually ours? So let's explore this illusion and, more importantly, how to see beyond it. Before the internet, people trusted major media outlets. Why? Because there was no alternative. Without platforms to share or compare information, we took what they told us at face value. We had no choice. Take Walter Cronkite, for example. He was the most trusted man in America. But why? Because we just knew he was super honest? Or was it he was just really good at doing what he did? And we had no choice. Here's the thing about big media. They have an agenda, and it's not truth. It's profit. Just like commercials exaggerate products, the news sensationalizes stories. Why? Because fear and division and outrage sell. That's what it's all about. That's what it is all about. Take any major media news story, for example. There might be a sliver of truth, but the rest is spun to fit some sort of narrative. It's just like a commercial doesn't tell you all the flaws of the product, doesn't tell you it's going to break, or if you consume it, you're very likely to have really high spiked glucose levels or possible cancer if you consume lots of it for years or whatever. No, the media doesn't want you to think critically about its storylines. And then came the internet. Suddenly, everybody had a voice. There were blogs, forums, and eventually, social media allowed people to question what they were being told, as we were able to take this information and pass it back and forth and be critical of it. We started sharing and realizing how flawed and how biased this mainstream narrative has always been. And now, with AI tools and open source, we can dig even deeper. AI allows us to analyze, fact check, and uncover the truths that were once hidden. But as these tools become more powerful, so does the pushback from those that are in control. And that's always how it's been. It's time to wake up and become more aware of what you're seeing and what you're consuming. Social media was supposed to be the space of free expression, but as platforms grew, so did the censorship. And algorithms prioritize content that aligns with corporate or political interests. Speech that challenges the narrative is silenced, even if it doesn't violate the law. We're at a tipping point. Are we going to let these platforms control what we see and what we think? Or are we going to reclaim our reality? Let's talk about real quick what happened in 2021, 2022, when we weren't allowed to talk about the thing that everyone was contracting and getting jabs for, all those things. You weren't allowed to say the name of it. And if you did, your content was removed. So Here's the truth. What you believe is what you perceive. That old saying holds so true. If you believe the world is full of chaos, you'll find chaos everywhere. If you believe the media is always honest, you'll accept anything without question. Your perception becomes your reality. But what if that perception was fed to you by someone else? So how do we break free from being brainwashed and reclaim our reality in our minds? Number one, question everything. You gotta start questioning every piece of information that you consume. Who's benefiting from this? What's the agenda? Look for the silver lining. Look for the truth in there and recognize the spin around it. Number two, diversify your sources. Follow independent journalists. Okay, good podcasts out there, international outlets, and platforms that challenge the mainstream narratives. The more perspectives that you have, especially around the world, the clearer picture everything becomes. Number three, limit your media consumption. It's real easy to get sucked down the hole, man. So you got to take a break from the barrage of these opinions. They'll just keep going well after you turn it off. So create space. Think for yourself rather than reacting to what others want you to feel. Number four, use critical thinking tools. Leverage AI to fact check and analyze information. Tools like ChatGPT, fact-checking sites, and open source platforms, these can help you cut through all this noise. Now, you do have to be careful because these platforms and these critical thinking tools also have their bias. Because you have to remember, they're only built by other people who have opinions and who have biases. Number five, focus on your inner world. Your reality isn't just shaped by external information. It's also shaped by your internal state. Meditate, journal, and practice mindfulness to stay grounded, and be aware of your own beliefs. When we sit and we take a moment to examine our breath and just examine the world around us, that is being mindful. That is being aware. When we can be the fly on the wall in our own minds to see why we are reacting a certain way and what is causing that reaction, we can then start to analyze where the problem is coming from and maybe be able to take care of some of our own internal problems and realize maybe why some of those are being exacerbated a little bit, or maybe a lot. The world may feel really chaotic at the moment, but it's also full of opportunity. By questioning everything, diversifying your media outlets, and thinking critically, you can break free from this illusion and create a reality that is truly yours. But I want to know what you think. Are we living in an illusion? Do you trust the news sources and news outlets that you're getting your information from? Mention them down below. How do you navigate today's media landscape? Let me know in the comments. If you found this helpful, hit like, subscribe, and share. And let's break this reality together. So, peace, love, stay real, my friends.